Thought Bubble Audio.
Hi, I'm Tim,
And I'm Frank.
and you're listening to the Gospel According to Lucas, where the Force meets Catholicism. In each episode, we'll analyze Scripture through the lens of Star Wars to uncover the Christian influence on a galaxy far, far away. If you'd like to read along with us, you can find a link for today's readings in the show notes at thegospelaccordingtolucas.com or right in your podcast app. We're using the New American Bible Revised Edition. Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing for free to The Gospel According to Lucas in your favorite podcast app. Visit thegospelaccordingtolucas.com for links to subscribe. And finally, if you like what we do, please consider making a donation at patreon.com/thoughtbubbleaudio. Today we'll be discussing the Gospel reading for the Christmas Mass during the day, a reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came to be through him, and without him nothing came to be. What came to be through him was life, and this life was the light of the human race. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. The true light, which enlightens everyone, was coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world came to be through him, but the world did not know him. He came to what was his own, but his own people did not accept him. But to those who did accept him, he gave power to become children of God. To those who believe in his name, who were born not by natural generation, nor by human choice, nor by man's decision, but of God. And the Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. And we saw his glory, the glory as of the Father's only Son, full of grace and truth. The Gospel of the Lord. So, first of all, Merry Christmas, of course, to you, my friend. In Star Wars, we see Anakin Skywalker as the chosen one, born of no man, but of the Force. Born into the life of a slave only to be set free by and through the Force, Anakin is a Christ figure, someone who is seen to bring balance to the Force. However, in conjunction with John's Gospel, the Christmas narrative is so much more than Anakin, but is telling of 1,000 generations of Jedi. John's Gospel is different than most infancy narratives that we see of Jesus, in that he writes of the metaphysical Jesus, the luminescent Word that became flesh. In the beginning there was light, and that light is the Word that is Jesus, the truth that becomes God among men and enlightens everyone. In the Star Wars universe, the Force is a stand-in for the divine, as the Jedi speak of, quote, the will of the Force and what the Force desires of the universe. In other words, the truth of the living Word, or the living Force in Star Wars lingo, is Jesus in John's Gospel. Like it says in the word of the Gospel, the Force is not always believed in. John writes that the world did not know him, and that his own people did not accept him. We see this a lot in Star Wars, perhaps most famously in Han Solo, who derides the Force in A New Hope as simple tricks and nonsense, only to turn around and declare that it's all true in The Force Awakens. Sorry, I didn't do that right. It's all true. All of it. Yeah. Han is a good conversation starter and a good conversion story. And the Jedi are like that of those who did not accept him, as the Force those who did accept him. Those who did accept him, as the Force flows through them and gives power to become children of God. In the newest Star Wars initiative, The High Republic, the Jedi speak of bringing, quote, light and life to the galaxy. The light and life they mean is the truth of the Force, goodness incarnate through those who recognize the glory of the Father's only Son, who is full of grace and truth. The lesson from Han is not to dismiss the word that is truth in our lives and not to run from it, but to instead recognize truth when it is before you, because the truth is the word, the will of God made manifest before us. As Catholics on Christmas, the manifestation of the truth is found in the infant Jesus, a full act of humility. As adults, we must care for a baby, and God will care for us. And that's it. That's all I wrote.
That's the tweet. Bravo.
That's the tweet. Send tweet.
Bravo. Yes. Well, Merry Christmas. That was lovely. That was
Thank
lovely.
you. Thank you.
I've always loved this. This might be my favorite reading of any reading from the gospel, from all four gospels. That the beginning of the Gospel of John always really I've always connected with it. It sets such a different tone, like you said. It's very different than any of the other like infancy narratives that we see in any other gospel. And I love the way you tied these things together. That's an area that I'd never really gone. We all like we often talk about, or we often. It's very easy to see the parallels of Anakin as a Christ figure, Anakin as the chosen one, as the Messiah. Clearly, that was something that was on George Lucas's mind. He was making reference to Christianity, maybe to other traditions as well, but clearly a big part of what he wanted to come across. He was raised as a Christian. I think he sort of practices more of or believes in more of a Buddhist way of thinking nowadays, but he's certainly influenced by his Christian upbringing and arguably, our culture in the Americas, in Europe, and really across the world is very strongly influenced by Christian imagery and storytelling. And I like what you say about talking about the metaphysical Jesus. And I think that's what connects for me about that opening of the Gospel of John, is that he is talking more in metaphysical terms and more in he's sort of he's going to go into more of a narrative style as he gets further into his gospel. But right there at the beginning, he's setting things up and sort of telling you giving you a taste for what his tone is going to be and how he approaches telling the story of Jesus's life.
It's true, and what I really like a lot about this gospel, because I agree, it's one of my favorites. Probably, I oscillate. I think Mark sometimes is my favorite because he's so to the point. It's like, bam, here's Jesus. There you go. No fuss. And I enjoy that. But I like John because it's a lot of fuss in some ways.
Yeah.
And what I like about this reading is that at the end, it's all this metaphysical, it's in the universe, and it's in the and the word is this, and it's truth, and it's all these metaphysical literary things in a lot of ways. And then bam, the word becomes flesh.
Yes.
Bam, it's flesh. It's real. It's right in front of you. And guess what? It's a friggin' baby. And that's what I like a lot about, like where you're like, oh yeah, Jesus, he became born and just all this stuff. Like it's a baby. Babies need to be cared for. Like you ever hold a newborn baby? They can't even lift its own head. You got to make sure to hold it exactly the right way. Exactly this, like how God cradles us is how we cradle God when he becomes flesh. That is an amazing, it's an amazing cyclical nature to connect these things together. And to quote George Lucas, it rhymes like poetry. That's the Star Wars way, but that's the gospel way too. That's Catholicism. It rhymes. It all wraps together over and over and over and over and over again. Like a swaddle.
Yes, you might say, like a swaddle in a manger.
Yeah, and what I I'm going to toot my own horn on this one is that I was able to kind of pull myself out of the Anakin Skywalker chosen one, blah blah blah. Like you said, we've been talking about Anakin for weeks now, and a lot of his story all through Advent, which was great. But Star Wars is so much more than the chosen one, just like Christ's birth is even so much more than just the manger, right? It's so much more than that. It's about light incarnate, kind of like a lightsaber, like you can actually grasp it, like it's like something that is tangible, something that is intangible has become tangible. You can taste it, touch it, smack it on the face, like it's real.
But please don't. He's a baby.
Yeah, but don't
smack it on the face. Come on, what's wrong with
you? What are you, Anakin Skywalker? You a monster? Yeah. Oh man. So it's such an interesting way to kick off Christmas in such a metaphysical way, because it's almost the opposite of what we think about Christmas. Like the tangible. Here's the gift. I got you this thing. and it's like it's of your senses. And then here's John coming in and being like, I didn't get you, I got you the idea of a thing. And then, no, just kidding. I got you the thing. Like, it's real. Like, and I like that very much. What a great way what a great way to kick off the Christmas season,
Yes, indeed.
especially in this year of a pandemic in which we can't be with one another the same way, but you can feel one another through the power of the Force.
Yes,
I guess right, to know that you're surrounded and penetrated,
Yeah.
by. It's wonderful. Frank, thank you for being here. Thank you for being
Absolutely.
here with us today. For everyone at home, thank you for listening. A Merry Christmas to you. For those who do not celebrate Christmas, but you're along on our journey anyway, welcome. And know that we are praying for you. We hope that you do the same for us. And God bless, and may the Force be with you.